Hi guys, Mischa here. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard somebody say, oh, that student, he or she, they didn't graduate because they fell through the cracks? I'm here to call BS on that. And let me tell you why. Because something happened to me very early on in my teaching career that enlightened me to this. I was covering a class, it wasn't my class, and I got to the end of the period and there were still a few minutes left and I had to kill some time. And kids really like doing riddles, engages them, it's fun. And so I had thrown out a few riddles and they weren't all that hard, but the kids figured them out. But then I thought, okay, I really need to cover the rest of this period, so I gave them a really tough riddle using Boolean logic. Now, I actually had to have this riddle explained to me because I'm pretty smart, but I'm not good at that stuff. So I figured for sure this is going to knock off the rest of the period. So I throw out this logic riddle. A kid in the back answers it immediately. Well, I was blown away. So I make my way to the back of the class and I sit down next to this kid and I say, do they know? And he looked a little confused and he said, well, know what? And I said, do they know how smart you are? I get choked up when I think of this. The look on his face was so sad and so defeated. And he said, nah, they're kicking me out of here next week. I turn 18, but I don't know how to read. That kid did not fall through the cracks. He fell through a mile-wide pothole. And as the years went on, I saw that happen again and again. And the fault was not that kid. The fault was the structure of the educational system that allowed that to happen. That never should have happened, right? And no matter the goodwill and untiring efforts, of the teachers and the administrators who tried so hard to educate those kids, that system was designed for those kids to fail. And I'm here to call BS on that. We should not allow ourselves to excuse this kind of stuff. The way that I learned in school, it worked okay for me, I guess, but it's old, it's antiquated, and it really doesn't work for many students. Some of the most brilliant students I ever had were at that school. The most brilliant human being I've ever met was a student at that school. And it was a privilege to teach him and to teach all those kids. They're so underestimated. And it's heartbreaking, for me anyway, to see these really, really wonderful people who could contribute so much to our society and to have their own personal success in life discarded and underestimated through no fault of their own, because the structure of the school system isn't built for them. So I say, get rid of it. It's a Buggy Whip Factory. We need to save all but the best and the brightest in places like South Central. We need those kids. We need those people, right? So let's get to work and stop kidding ourselves. It isn't their fault, right? At least that's what I think.